Hello. Today, the topic that I'm talking about is constipation. Figured I'll change my view, give you some nature sounds also that really work in my backyard. Hopefully, you guys will get lucky to see a bird coming on that little bird feeder of mine. Usually, I have hummingbird feed also, but it's too early for the hummingbirds to come. We have a tulip tree that's full of flowers, so I don't think they'll be coming near me for another 2 weeks. So I wouldn't put that yet. But once the tulip tree flowers go away, I will put the hummingbird feed and then you'll see it. Anyway, let's go back to my topic, constipation. A lot of my patients coming in have constipation. Could be related to lack of drinking water, lack of proper diet, and drug interactions, and not paying attention to what amount of activity they need. So I am talking about everything that might help it. So it goes for constipation is not just for like GI issues, it is for all spectrums of health. You have cancer, you have urinary incontinence, you have COPD, heart failures. They all interact with constipation. In ancient medicine, they call it chi. Chi is like your innermost health gets better only if you do proper nutritional guide for it. Okay, a lot of teas, a lot of diet differences we have to incorporate. So the first thing that I liked was that I specifically have tried, and it really works, is helping the motility to go through easily for the large intestines and the small intestines, and that is 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It helps decrease the chronic inflammation, and the oleic acid inside it is really powerful. Another one is 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is notorious for weight loss. A lot of my friends have been taking apple cider vinegar since the beginning of my teenage years. It helps with weight loss with water when you're fasting, especially intermittent fasting. It is acidic, so I'm not always recommending people to go to apple cider vinegar, especially when I'm trying to make them into alkaline food habits. Our body needs a nutrition, but leading people towards alkaline food is more important for me nowadays than other nutritional values. It'll help people to get better. Um, one 1 teaspoon of honey. I know there are people who have allergies, but 1 teaspoon of honey will cure in water is really useful for people. All right, and now I'm going to add on stuff that will really help with constipation. Tomatoes are #1 for prostate cancer. They have lycopenes. They help with uncontrolled cell division. It is known for breast cancer and prostate cancer. Why am I talking all these cancers right now? Because breasts have nests that usually go into the colon area sometimes, and usually it is detected later on. So those who take tomatoes will be able to, raw tomatoes actually help let lycopene into their bloodstreams, and that kind of helps with reducing the division of cells. Strawberries are another major factor. They have produce ellagic acid that protects the DNAs. So grow strawberries in your yard. The red pigment inside that strawberry is so powerful. It activates stem cells. It helps anthocyanin, which decreases type 2 diabetes and decreases neurodegeneration. It also contains lutein and zeaxanthin. I will be writing these words down so you guys can look it up later on if you need to. Of course, the favorite for every woman, avocado. How do we ever forget avocado, right? It is very high in fiber. It has oleic acid, just like the olive oil. It has vitamin E that helps you to reduce your wrinkles. It burns fat faster. It satiates your belly. It increases your HDL. So an avocado a day is very highly recommended for women. And it is your ADK is absorbed when you eat avocado. Now, another important food fiber that I'm talking about is apple. The organic apple is more safer. That means you're eating the skin. The skin in the apple has chlorogenic acid, ellagic acid, and procyanidin, which help the building of stem cells. So those who are having, bone marrow issues and everything, they have to eat stem cell first. And for weight loss and helping the GI motility to go better, organic apples actually help. They help you to have a little bit more fiber in your content. So foods with vitamin C, like grapefruit, is well known for helping with cancers in the stomach, bladder, lung, pancreas, and esophagus. So all these things, when you have cancer in the esophagus or pancreas or in the bladder, it kind of like gently touches on your intestines, and it does not help absorption because you're slowing the system down. It helps the wrong cells to be formulating, so everything has to be remodified. So all this vitamin C from a grapefruit is actually good. It helps you to look younger, is a good sign usually. So most people know this. One single thing that I loved the most from YouTube was this how to improve your brain. So the number one technique that they said was using dark chocolate, coffee, black coffee, walnuts, and blueberry. All these are good for neural regeneration. Neural regeneration is not just in the brain. Your muscles, when they get torn, when they have strokes and everything, these things will help regenerate the nerves and help it to reconnect. So that is such an important function to eat these things. The darker the chocolate is, the more useful, powerful it is. Even coffee, the coffee without the milk is more stem cell producing and more nutritional value for the nerves than coffee with milk or anything. Otherwise, the fat in the cow milk is notorious for making the wrapping around the coffee chemicals and not letting it released into your intestinal streams to make it beneficial for you. So try to drink black coffee, not regular coffee. Living in American culture, like coffee without milk is like so weird, but black coffee is really good with dark chocolate. I highly recommend that. You can definitely drink that. So pears is another thing that is very important. It has flavonoids, it's anti-androgenic, and it has 5 to 6 grams of fiber, and it is very nutritional for a healthy gut. So try to eat organic pears with the skin. Don't eat one type of pears, try to eat different types of pears. Another thing my mom used to tell me is you don't buy pears from one farmer or one company alone. Try to change it up from where you bring, because different pears have different nutritional value based on the soil that they were raised in, based on the country it's from. Nutrition would change. So try to change it up every now and then. Buy from different companies organic pears. Okay. We're on to. So there is 2 types of fibers. There's soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. So the soluble fiber decreases cholesterol. It helps with decreasing prostaglandin, and it helps with with the heart. Okay. So it absorbs the water from the intestine. So when you're eating soluble fibers, you want to make sure you're drinking the amount of water that was recommended. Otherwise, 80% of your body weight into ounces is what I say to American patients, so that they know that much is needed to keep the intestines loose. Okay. Insoluble fibers attracts water to the stool, and it makes the less strain for people to poop. So insoluble fibers would be like nuts, seeds, brown rice, quinoa, almond, pistachio. So almonds and all have 4 ounces of 4 grams of fiber. Pistachio, like half a cup, has 3 grams of fiber, and chia has 10 grams of fiber in half a cup. Cranberry also is included into the insoluble fiber. Remember I said about vitamin C before? Here it comes back again. It has fiber in it that is going to help you. So remember, carrots, banana, they're all soft foods that is very good to bulk up the poop, but it needs more water into your system. Make sure you're drinking extra water. You know, when you're making smoothies, add the ice. The ice will make it hydrated a little bit more. So usually star anise you can buy the pill form in America. You cannot buy that outside the country, America probably, but you can boil star anise in a cup of water with your favorite tea or coffee, and you can drink it. 1 star anise a day would last for 2 to 3 cups usually of boiled water, and it actually helps with motility of the gut. So I'm talking about children and about adults, like elderly adults. I'm not going the in-between stages. They're responsible and accountable. They may neglect, moms may neglect their sons, but the others should not. So they're the only exceptions I'm giving, okay? So with children, straining of the underwear is common. They need to lubricate their intestines. So when you make cornbread, if you put star anise in it, it actually helps them to be a little bit looser and go poop easier, okay? Put powdered star anise in it. And you know, 1 tablespoon of olive oil is good for the kids. You know, the cause for constipation is usually diet change. If you're traveling, if you're in a new environment, you're starting a new school or a new activity, affects the kids. If they're going through divorce or separations, or if they're moving to learning a new culture, traveling from countries to countries, or if they have extenuating situations that causes high stress, high anxiety, that causes them to have stool problems, also defecating problems. Usually constipation is seen with very skinny kids than with bigger kids. It's the same thing with the adults. The skinnier the person is, you see constipation is a classic standard. They'll say headache, they'll say pains, they'll say all this stuff, but they would not claim constipation because they know they're not eating enough and they're not pooping. So they wouldn't come outright and tell you. At the same time, extremely obese people that are above 45, they do have constipation and they need the help to disinfect. Usually for children, we are not allowed to disinfect. Just remember that rule. You only give them castor oil or olive oil, 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, depending on how much motility you want. And help them to have a habit of eating dates and prunes, 10 dates and prunes. So stool, if it's hard as pellets, it's bad for the kids. That means they are dehydrated. If they are dehydrated, you have to increase the fiber content in their body. If they block the toilet, usually that means their rectum is also distended. Regardless of what size they are, children or adults or super adults, if the toilet is blocking, that means you need to go talk to a dietitian, more than a GI doctor, and figure out how you can help the GI systems, because it's hard to manage weight when your rectum your intestines are longer or too short, and they're not being proper nutrition is not being met. Okay, and when you're saying that the stool is very hard, the dietitian knows exactly what you need, and they can tell you what you need to add on to your body. All right, so smoothies. I don't think a kid will say no to smoothies. So empower smoothies with strawberries, apples, and pears. You can't go wrong with those fiber foods. Girls, add avocado. It's like one of the best things. If you put 1 avocado with almond milk, you're getting double the proteins and double the fiber into it. And you put a teaspoon of honey in it, it's going to be very good for them, very powerful. and it tastes like ice cream. So I bet the kids would eat it. So if they have vomiting situation, you have to add in alkaline foods also with them. Remember, because it's their intestines are so backed up that it's starting to turn and pinch, okay? Or they're having emotional stress from work or school, you know, or that their intestines are pinching in a point, you know, they get into fights sometimes in schools. If they're getting into some kind of situation where they're being punched in the GI, the kids are not gonna come and tell you. You know, after 7, most of the kids don't tell you most of the stories. They're gonna keep a lot to themselves sometimes. So you're responsible for understanding that and giving them more salads, giving them more soups, giving them more melons, okay, into their systems. So watch out for those things. If you're vomiting, the doctor needs to know so that they can tell you how the GI could be regulated. Sometimes stress is like a #1 factor for children. They're the lowest in the totem pole for most of the family units. And it's not that they're being neglected. It's not that they're not being taken care of. Things happen, you know, post-COVID, post-economic crashes, jobs being in and out, and, you know, such a cultural change in our jobs or situations that children do take a toll in it. So try to make them emotionally, psychologically sunshine athletes, okay? That's what I keep repeating again and again to everyone that I know. Psychological sunshine. And water, of course. Only people who are not allowed to drink water is kidney patients and heart patients. They have to follow their doctors and listen advice on how to use Metamucil, or I don't know what they use in different parts of the country. In London it's different, America is different, you know, India is different. So I want you to listen to what your doctor says in your country. They know what works best for you because they have done it on many other people or kids, okay? So remember, fluid-filled diet, give them melons, give them nuts, turmeric power built in. You know, I used to give my daughter turmeric power, 1 teaspoon of turmeric power boiled in milk at night, and it kind of helped in the very beginning because we used to have, you know, a lot of traveling, and you know, when you're traveling and you're coming back to school the next day, you don't even realize when you're a child, you know, you're having teeth erupting, germs are like naturally coming to you when you're 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're not doing it on purpose. They're children. What do you expect? So turmeric with milk was my almost mandated thing that I used to give her. Now she will know, but and that would help her to regulate her GI system. You know, the qi is such an important thing in Asian communities. In you know, I could tell you lots of fun stories about that. Okay, according to Oxford University, such an important thing, I'm repeating again and again. For children, disinfection is only for 2 weeks, okay? Do not use rectal preparation. That means enema suppositories are not supposed to use unless the doctor says it, all right? You can give 4 to 6 ounces of prune, 1 tablespoon of or more as prescribed by doctor, the castor oil. Along with hydration, again and again and repeat, soups, lettuce, tomatoes, they're able to help fight off all this the GI inflammations, to help it to poop easy, okay, and get them regulated. Adults can use enema or suppository for disinfection, and it is good for, you can do it for like 3 weeks, then you have to stop, and then you have to give it a break and then start all over again. The whole time when you're doing the 3-week regimen, remember you have to make sure you're hydrating, you're eating the salads, the soups, the avocados, the apples, the pears, the blueberries. You're not gonna all eat everything together in one day. You're gonna plan your meals anyway. So you're gonna set up pears 1 week, blueberries one day, apples 1 day, like that, separate it out, okay? Apple a day is always good. I never say that no. For adults, you have to detox your kidneys, your livers. Milk thistle is what we use in America for detoxing the liver. I'm sure you'll get the tablet on Amazon. For kidneys, it's dandelion tea bags, barley water, cranberry, my favorite, grapefruit. I could never stop eating grapefruit. I just love grapefruit. And 1 tablespoon, well, I like half a lemon squeezed into anything. You know, in your food, in your diet, it never goes wrong. Just don't put it with milk products. It turns into, it's bad for the gallbladder unless you're not hydrating enough. Now let's see, next part that I want to talk about is foods that are rich in fiber and protein. Now buckwheat is 4.8% soluble fiber and 2.2% insoluble fiber. It decreases cholesterol. It has very high potassium, so be careful, kidney problem people. It has 3.4 grams of fat, and it has high allergy, so gluten-free people gotta be careful with buckwheat, and celiac disease, and other allergies, you never know. So farro, I'm gonna spell all this out for you guys later on. Farro has vitamin B. It decreases atherosclerosis. Soluble fiber that binds to the vessels area to keep the heart healthy. It is not recommended for celiac disease. 1 cup has 3 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber. It is very high in iron, magnesium, and if you soak it overnight for 24 hours, it releases vitamin A, C, and E. So always soak farro. Sorghum. It is very high in potassium, phosphorus, zinc, iron, vitamin B, copper, and calcium. 1 cup has 20.4 grams of protein. So for weight loss people, this is like your go-to diet because you need more protein in your diet. It has 12.9 gram of insoluble fiber. It's similar to oats and barley. It lets beta-glucan 2 to be released into the bloodstream. Amaranth. Amaranth is 78% insoluble fiber, 22% soluble fiber. 1 cup has 28.18 grams of protein. So it's another great food for people who are trying to lose weight. Also, not just for pooping. It has calcium. And according to University of Rochester, it has phosphorus, 187.25 microunits. It has potassium, magnesium, and manganese. It is very high in folate and folate DFE. So very important stuff for rebuilding your vessels, your intestinal walls. So I highly recommend people buying amaranth. I haven't Googled and seen where you can buy it from, honestly. We have Adams locally, so we get everything from Adams, and Walmart, of course. Quinoa, of course, everybody knows quinoa by now. It is so good for heart health. It decreases your blood pressure. Okay, 1 cup of quinoa has 78% of insoluble fiber, 22% of soluble fiber. It contains vitamin B. It has vitamin B12, B3, B9, vitamin A, E, K. It has 8 grams of protein. It made me so happy when I hear all these proteins. So quinoa is known for linoleic acid, A-linoleic acid, when it's sprouted. It has lutein, carotene. Yellow and red pigment are better for fighting cancer. The folate, it has very high folate, and it helps with the development of cryotoxanthin, zeaxanthin. It removes radicals for cancers, infections, and neurological disease. I should say everybody who's having neurological disease eat quinoa, right? And now teff. I've been looking up NIH for their information, so it was mind-blowing. It must come from outer space. I really believe in aliens bringing teff to Earth because it was found first in Ethiopia. So 1 cup of cooked teff has 6.5 grams of protein. It has insoluble fiber and soluble fiber, both of them. It is, okay, this is amazing thing for it. It has anthogenic lipoprotein. It prevents cardiac disease. It is a catabolic product of lysine, amino acid, and acetyl-CoA, which is a substrate of Krebs cycle, and it helps with wound healing and type 2 diabetes. I'm literally saying out of NIH all these statements, okay? It has a longer shelf life, and it is the #1 anti-mutagenic effect. So I think all the people above 40, because after 30 your cells are disintegrating, so it produces cancer cells faster. So anybody about 30 should eat teff, according to me, right? You have to sprout also teff overnight, 24 hours, okay? So teff, the red teff is good for anemia, excuse me. When it is soaked for 24 hours. Teff is also a #1 fighter. It produces it helps with prostaglandin, thromboxanes, leukotrienes, lipoxin, resolvin, isoprostrine, hydroxy. Well, that's for weight loss, hydroxy when I say. It has omega-3 that control glucated hemoglobin, atherogenic lipoprotein. It has decreased amount of phytic acid and inositol phosphate, which reduces the absorption of iron and zinc. Well, it was very long one, I know. I'm sorry about it. There are so many recipes with teff you can find online. If you Google up information about teff in NIH, it's really good. The other company, the information that I got about, hold on a second, about farro was from University of Minnesota. It was very well organized chart they have. Most important thing with diet is, you can't do everything together for elderly or younger. You have to do your research and you have to add these in. I don't say don't eat meat. I don't say don't eat, don't do this, don't do that. Just add things to it, and I'm telling you, you guys will get 10 times better. Well, thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. Hopefully this helps somebody in this universe, right? Alrighty, have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.